All right, so we are continuing with root work and what is root work. So, the origination of root work, period, comes from slaves in the Caribbean and in South America who were able to mask certain gods and goddesses behind saints. So, that is why, if you notice along the slave route or the route they actually went, those gods and goddesses of like Ifa and Santeria and Palo and Gelombe and stuff, the energy of those deities sort of transforms at each place they drop off slaves. Okay, so pretty much as they make their way here to America, each place, quote unquote, religion, they have their own way of doing things, which is why you have so many people fighting and arguing about, oh well, no, Ifa is right, oh well, no, Santeria is right, oh no, well, Palo is right. Like, technically speaking, guys, you're arguing about entity and not energy. Spirit wise is something else. And when you're dealing with root work, that has nothing to do with it at all. And that's where a lot of people get root work and conjuring and stuff mixed up with all the voodoo and everything else. Okay? So, another thing that you want to think about or consider is, why do you do root work? Why do you even do root work? What is the purpose? So, one of the purposes that we use root work is to honor the wisdom from your ancestors. This is part of your culture. It's your heritage, okay? So, for instance, I remember growing up and seeing my grandma, she would sprinkle salt around the house on the floor. And then she would start at the front door and literally work her way clockwise around the house, sweep up all the salt, and sweep it out the back door. I remember seeing that, but it wasn't until I got older and understood exactly what she was doing, which was literally cleansing out the house of all the negative spirits and everything, and then sweeping it out the back door. So with that being said, that is one of the ways that you honor those ancestors, okay? Another reason that you do your root work is because this is a means to get back to loving the earth and respecting the place and space that helps you live and thrive. You get what I'm saying? So, for instance, when I go to the river and I know I need to cleanse my energy and everything, before I get in there demanding cleansing and spirit do anything, I give an offering. Whether it be my cowrie shells, whether it be pennies, whatever it is, I still leave that offering in the river before I ever think to cleanse myself first. And then I get in and say my prayer and do whatever I need to do, meditate, commune with my spirits, or whatever have you. But that is the purpose of you doing your root work, okay? You get back into those natural elements. You get back into those when it's raining. Go sit outside. If you need to ground, go walk around in the grass barefooted. Who gives a fuck if somebody is looking at you weird because you hugging a damn tree? So fucking what? Go hug the tree and get your soul right. Get your spirit right. Okay? Another reason that we do root work is because this is self-empowerment and spiritual growth. You actually get to see your growth. You get what I'm saying? It's not just you saying, oh, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, and no, spirit gonna hold you liable for that. When you are dealing with root work, you have to remember you're dealing with the natural elements of spirit. So when you're using jasmine, you got to remember jasmine is still a plant that is still spiritually attached to the earth. So as you're using all of these herbs in your root work, you are literally using the natural essence of this earth, of nature. And all of this helps you with your spiritual growth, because you literally start seeing physical manifestations of things that you're trying to use and do. You got any questions yet, sweetie? You good? Okay. So the next question about root work. How does it work? Well, first of all, root work is based like any other work. It's not based on logic. So you're not going to sit here and try and rationalize it or anything like that, okay? It's not going to happen. But it's literally putting that energy and that faith back into yourself that you are channeled enough, you are healed enough, and you're powerful enough to literally tap back into the natural source and go before spirit and ask for these favors, for these manifestations to help change your lifestyle. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, some of the common beliefs in root work, or with a real root worker, or with a real conjure person. These are 6 of our common beliefs, okay? Rule number 1, or belief number 1. There is one God, and we ultimately answer to all for our actions. But under the supreme God exist several supernatural forces that can be conjured to interact on our behalf, aka your spirit guides, your Orisha, your Loa, your Simbi. You get what I'm saying? All of those extras, those spirits are those supernatural forces that they're talking about. Get what I'm saying?
Spiritual messages.
Yes, spiritual messages. Yes. So, where there is still Oludumare, as some say in Ifa, under him there's still Olofi, Oludumare, Obatala, and then the rest of the Orisha. Or, in Voodoo, the Loa. Or the Gede. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that number 1 common belief. There is an ultimate God. But in my case, my personal preference and belief, because I am my own spiritualist, okay, before I am anybody's religious anything, I believe that my supreme being or my supreme God is a goddess. Because at the end of the day, there is no man on this earth that can give life and take life the way a woman does. A child does not know another definition of a god or a goddess until you as a woman tell them what that is. Or someone else tells them what that is. You get what I'm saying? They have no other definition where to give that supreme devotion, that supreme love and anything until you start telling them that. Hell, they don't even know who daddy is until you be like, that's your daddy. And even then, some of y'all be questionable. So, common belief number 2. The earth is a sacred place, and this is a place that provides all of your needs. And you cannot take from this place and not leave something in its place. Hence the term, give and I shall give it back to you, pressed down, shaken together, runneth over, and back in good measure. Meaning, whatever I take from you, you're going to give it back the same way I measured it out to you. So if you're taking something from the earth, you got to give something back. Which is why I always leave those offerings as a gift, as an offering before I decide to replenish my own. I don't think of myself first before I jump in anything spiritual. I'm not going to think of myself first and collect the rainwater before I go get my dance on and my Oya in the rainstorm. You get what I'm saying? Not going to do that. No. We don't do that. Okay? No. So, remember that. And that goes for you as well. Because a lot of you are empathetic beings and a lot of you are high priestess, babalaos, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. But you also have to remember, as you're giving out to people, they sort of got to get that same energy back too. So there is no point of running your mouth over and over and over to somebody about a situation and circumstance. They not going to get it, boo. Okay? Stop giving your energy away for free. You have a value to yourself too. And people only see the value that you allow them to see. So, with that being said, we're going to go on to the next belief. Number 3. Physical death is not the final soul, is not the final place for the soul. The soul is eternal, okay? And therefore, you can communicate with spirit. Spirits of the dead have the power to pass knowledge and impart wisdom to the living because they have passed on to a spiritual plane in the past, present, and future, or have been one in those places as well. Does that make sense?
So they're outside of time.
Yes, they are outside of time. Yes. So, and that literally goes to say, scientifically speaking, they tell you what is your soul really? Your soul is energy. Yes. So if your soul is energy, when you die, where does your shadow go?
Exactly. It carries on.
Or it carries over. So therefore, when you die, your soul does not dissipate. It recreates somewhere else. So with that being said, that is what that is talking about. We don't believe in death. Honestly, I believe that we are deathless. That is why you have so many children that remind you of so many different ancestors and they've never seen them before. Or they act just like that person and they've never even been around in that generational place and space. That's why. So, the next one, number 4. We believe that the future can be foretold. Because root workers, we rely heavily on divination and telling of that. So that means how I use my playing cards. That's cartomancy. You can use sources of bones, shells, dream interpretations, and a lot of us tend to develop actual abilities, okay? Skills. And usually what this means is you can take a candle and a glass of water to read the client. And these are things that you need when you are reading clients, because you need to have a portal of clarity and you need to have a portal of something burning that negativity away, okay? So whenever you are setting up your place and space to do any type of divination for root work at all, always have your water and your fire, okay? That is to protect you. That is to protect the other person. And that's also to help the spirits enter and exit. Enter and exit. Okay? Because you don't want them to linger around. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Now, number 5 is my favorite rule. Number 5 is one of my number 1 golden rules in my tribe. Tribe of Tranquil Truths 333 on Facebook. Alright. So number 5 is literally, we have the right, utmost right, to self-defense and retaliation, and generally adhere to the traditional notion to karma. The punishment has to fit the crime. Meaning, if you slap me, I take that was your choice on slapping me. Just know I'm going to slap you back. It might not be the same way you slap me though. But just know, eye for an eye, bitch. So with that being said, you got to be careful when you're doing that. And that sort of comes down to a lot of these posts that you're seeing on Facebook where people aren't being careful about who they're approaching. Because as our ancestors are ascending back to this spiritual plane and they're reincarnating, so are a lot of their ancestors. Which is why this lifetime around, we not our ancestors, boo-boo. Not in that old body, we not. We got more rules and regulations this time. But I also know I got the right to defend myself this time. I didn't have that last time. I didn't have that that right last lifetime or in the past life. But in this one, I got the right to whoop your ass. If you come for me. Don't come for me unless I send for you. You get what I'm saying? And that is the overall notion, period. And that's number 5. That's my favorite one. I love it. Number 6. Honesty and confidentiality. Our greatest crime is to cheat a client for personal gain. We believe in doctor-patient confidentiality. So just like the doctor ain't supposed to say shit, we ain't saying shit either. So with that being said, you do have people that literally hop from person to person to person to person. Eventually they all gonna realize that you keep hopping from them. And now you spread your energy out over this multitude of different people. Be careful of that. And if you are a spiritual worker or a spiritual advisor, keep it to yourself sometimes. Unless you really feel that that person needs help and you are certified, keep it to yourself. Because we are bound spiritually just like you would be bound physically. We do no harm. Which is why I hate a lot of people have taken this spiritual curve into charging for initiation and all of this other stuff. Because baby, if you're on this spiritual path and you're looking up stuff, hell, even if you're watching this video right now, you're already in the process of your initiation, baby. Congratulations. The real part of it is you making it to the other side of your healing and tapping into your true power. My phone just died.